Have you ever gotten lost, like when you were small, or even like when you're older, you get lost? It's a horrible feeling, particularly if there's like a ton of people around and you were supposed to follow somebody. Yeah, it can be really, really difficult. I remember when I was a little kid, we were at Great Adventure in New Jersey, and I grabbed onto the wrong, pant leg, and it wasn't my mom or my dad. It was some stranger. And my parents kind of, I don't know what happened, but we all got separated. And I looked up, and that wasn't my mom. And I was like kind of freaked out. Now, it all ended well. They took me to, the lost and found or whatever. And they got a hold of my parents. And I learned a valuable lesson that day that, in those situations, you got to stick close. You got to listen for the voice of your mom or your dad, or whoever you're with, whoever's leading you, whoever's guiding you. You can't just go off and do your own thing. And in life, as we kind of end this week of talking about being Christ followers, of following Him, being His disciples, one of the key things is following Him and listening to His voice. In John 10, right, we have this picture of Jesus as the shepherd. In fact, He's the good shepherd. We are His sheep. That's an image you see throughout Scripture, and yeah, it's not real flattering, but it's dead on when it comes to us. We often think we know it all. We're so smart, man, but we wander away from God. Drop of a hat. Doesn't take much for us to get lost and to have no idea where we are and what we're doing, and we're like, man, where did God go? And God didn't go anywhere. We wandered off yet again. But here's what Jesus has as the picture of what it's supposed to look like. John 10:27. He says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them." That is so key, right? And that they follow me. And so the idea is that He is always looking out for us. He knows us. He knows what we're about. And He just says, just listen to me. I mean, how do we do that? We do that by reading the Scripture. That's how you know the voice of the shepherd, right? When we see that He loves, when we see that how Jesus just is so tenacious when it comes to truth, and when it comes to, but not just any old version of the truth, but God's version of the truth, that there is life, that there is hope, right? That we have fallen from that life, and we have sinned, we have fallen short. We need His love. We were like sheep, right? We had gone astray, all of us, gone to His own way. But what does He do as a shepherd? He comes to us. He puts us on His back, takes us home. He heals us. He makes us whole again. That's what He does. That's who He is, right? He is love. He is compassion. He's dialed in what life is, and we got to look at this. We got to look at the Scriptures, page after page, line after line, message after message. God showing us who He is, painting this beautiful picture, right? Of one of the prevalent ones, as I said, is a shepherd who cares for us, who fends off the wolves, who takes down those that were the threats that come against us, leading us where we need to go, to where we can find water, and we can find shelter, and we can find, right, that He is our protector, and He is there, and we can trust Him as He leads us through life to, as the Psalm says, Psalm 23, He leads us into these green pastures besides still waters, that He restores my soul. So let's listen to Him every day. Let's get into the Word, right? That's hopefully these follow-throughs help you to do that. Again, I strongly encourage the YouVersion Bible app. I encourage the Dwell Bible app, which is more of an audio-based thing, which is really cool. I use both of them. Again, anything that gets us into the Word, it's like we get to hear more and more of His voice, more and more of who He is, so that we're not making up our own mind about who He is and saying, well, my God would never. Well, yeah, He is your God, but He is who He is, not who I think He is. Okay, so it's not me painting the picture of who He is, but God painting it and me looking at it and looking at it and looking at it, man, because I want to take that in all its fullness, who He is in all of His fullness, to know that I can trust Him and that He goes with me, all right? So please, again, I pray that that helps you today. If it does, share that with somebody, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next week for another set of follow-throughs.